Found in the Yangtze River, the bargee were dolphins. Not onion bargees, these are different, they're dolphins. They were dolphins that were drove to extinction due to the construction of the Three Gorges Dam and the increased boat traffic that came with that. The Beiji, it's actually Beiji not bargee, I couldn't resist an onion bargee joke, were declared extinct in 2006. However, just 1 year later, a sighting was reported and a team of scholars confirmed that sadly though that's only been the report of a sighting that we had since. Where are the bargee dolphins? A huge expansion spanning over 3,500 kilometres failed to find the creature. Due to its length though, a Beiji could still yet be seen in the future. Oh, Beiji the dolphin, where could you be? Starting to become less common during the 1930s, Japanese river otters were extremely rare during the 1970s and were declared extinct in 2012. In the first year since it became officially extinct, there were a reported 15 sightings, most of which are unofficial, which would require a capture of the animal to actually make it official. Strangely, scientists state that the most recently seen otters have been sighted in areas they wouldn't usually reside in, such as polluted rivers. Don't go in the polluted rivers, otters. Either that or they haven't actually been seen. Thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian tiger, means the dog-headed pouched one in Greek, which is I like that. Have you seen the dog-headed pouched one? No? Oh, alright. Anyway, they were found throughout the island of Tasmania in Australia and were the largest flesh-eating marsupials of modern times, with the creature dying off in 1936. Based on fossil records, its immediate family members are known to have existed as early as 5 million to 23 million years ago. That's some old family. In recent years, it's been reported they've been spotted in Tasmania and mainland Australia, with researchers optimistic that some specimens still exist. Travelling in flocks up to 1 mile wide and 300 miles long, the passenger pigeon was once the most numerous bird on the planet during the 19th century until its extinction in the early 20th century due to hunting and loss of habitat. I'm going to stop that now, sorry. The passenger pigeon may constitute 25 to 40% of the total bird population of America at one point. People really love sending stuff by pigeon, and could have had a population of 3 billion to 5 billion at the time that Europeans arrived in America. So actually there were loads more before we arrived. That makes sense, that tends to be what we do. Due to their large flocks, they were popular for hunters. Coupled with the loss of habitat and infectious diseases, they did unfortunately eventually become extinct. The last passenger pigeon, named Martha, died in Cincinnati Zoo in 1914. According to reports by some birdwatchers though, paired with other purported sightings of small flocks, it's possible that some passenger pigeons may still roam the sky, although presumably not with packages. Do they even do packages? I think I might have made that up. The Japanese wolf once occupied the islands of Honshu, Shikoku and Kyushu in Japan, and was the world's smallest known wolf, measuring 35 inches in length and 12 inches in height. Oh, it's a diddy wolf, I kind of want one. Its population began to decrease in 1732 when rabies was first reported in the latter two aforementioned regions, with the virus possibly being transferred by domestic dogs. Oh, dogs. They became extinct during the early 1990s, but despite being killed off, the Japanese wolf managed to turn up in 1910 and then again in the 1930s, as well as sightings in the 1990s. So there may still be some of those tiny wolves out there roaming about, having fun. The giant ground sloth, called Megatherium, which sounds a lot like... That sounds like a robot. Are you sure this isn't Transformers? Anyway, it was huge and frightening, and one of the largest terrestrial mammals ever to live on Earth. I'm pretty sure it was a transformer. It measured 20 feet in length, allowing it to stand up on its legs when necessary. This is definitely a transformer. Anyway, I'm going to stop that. The slow-moving herbivore was unfortunately driven to extinction by early humans in South America, when it was hunted 10,000 years ago. In the deep jungles of South America, however, there are stories of a terrifying creature called the Mapinguari. This monster is said to stand 10 feet tall or more, featuring massive backward-facing claws and a mouth on its belly. Sounds ludicrous, but these are qualities that may actually match up with the giant ground sloth, Megatherium. The animal's claws were so huge that researchers thought it probably walked on its knuckles with its claws out to the side, hence the backward-facing feet, and they would have easily stood 10 feet or more on hind legs. The size sounds about right. As for the mouth on the belly, researchers say that it could be indicative of the scent gland that many sloths possess. Reported extinct around 2000 BC, the woolly mammoth stood 11 feet tall and weighed up to 6.6 tons. That's a big mammoth. The palatial creature lived alongside early humans around 200,000 years ago in Eurasia and North America. Due to a combination of hunting and climate change, the last known mainland mammoths died in Siberia nearly 10,000 years ago. Isolated populations, meanwhile, survived on Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean until 4,000 years ago, raising the possibility that some may still survive in remote wilds of Siberia yet to be explored by humans. Unconfirmed reports pertaining to elephant-like creatures occurred during the 20th century, while a Frenchman claimed he saw a mammoth in Siberia during 1920. To add further credence to its possible existence, as late as 1948, frozen mammoths were discovered with meat still fresh. Extinct roughly 65 million years ago, Mokele mbembe is a large, long-necked, long-tailed reptile. The legendary creature is said to live deep in the Congo River basin of Central Africa and is thought to be, by some, a sauropod dinosaur. This is a Pokemon, isn't it? I think it's a Pokemon. While reports have been circulating for the past 2 decades, skeptics point out that no photograph or physical evidence has yet to be found. However, William Gibbons, an explorer, conducted expeditions deep into the Congo and was told that pygmies, a local tribe located near Lake Tele, ended up killing one of the Mokele mbembes in 1959. The tribe fished daily in the lake channels where the creature used to roam around in search of vegetation, but after seeing it attempting to break through their barrier, the pygmies speared one of them to death, and after which took days to cut it into several pieces. The tribe described the creature as bigger than a forest elephant with long neck and small lizard-like head, which was decorated with a comb-like frill. It had a long, flexible tail, a smooth, reddish-brown skin, and 4 stubby but powerful legs with clawed toes. It's a shame you didn't kill it, otherwise you wouldn't have had to tell us what it looked like. Plesiosaurs were marine reptiles that lived during the time of the dinosaurs. There were several different types, all shapes and sizes, whichever kind of dinosaur you fancy. The ones we're most familiar with are the long-necked, big-bodied animals with flippers. And plesiosaurs mostly ate fish, but some of the bigger ones would have dined on larger aquatic animals and may have even gulped down a dinosaur from the shore now and then. You know, you've got to treat yourself. It's widely accepted that the same mass extinction event that wiped out the dinosaurs did in the large marine reptiles as well, about 65 million years ago. However, plesiosaurs may still be with us. Aquatic monsters matching the description of some of these reptiles have come in from lakes all over the world, as well as the open ocean. Now, this is a theory that allegedly explains the Loch Ness Monster, because Loch Ness is connected to the ocean, or was at one point. The story goes that a population of plesiosaurs somehow escaped from the sea and into the confines of lakes. The sheer amount of lake monster sightings from around the planet leads many cryptozoologists to keep the plesiosaur extinction debate going. And what an exciting debate it is. No, I'm not taking the piss. I like dinosaurs. Megalodon was the biggest shark in history to swim the oceans of the world, reaching lengths of 60 feet or more. It preyed on whales and other large marine mammals and would have been the apex predator of the ocean in its day. Unfortunately, Megalodon, poor old Megalodon, went extinct 1.5 million years ago, possibly due to changing global climate conditions, increased competition for dwindling food supplies, probably a combination of both. There's still a small amount of hope from some, though, that it's still alive. There have been reports of monster sharks, bigger than the ones we've currently been aware of. In recent times, anglers have reported possible Megalodon encounters in the Sea of Cortez and other areas where the ocean is extremely deep and hard to explore. One piece of tangible evidence is the Megalodon tooth that appeared on the Mariana Trench in 1875. When carbon dated, they seem to be as young as 10,000 years, far shorter than the 1 million years plus that they originally thought of as being when the last Megalodon lived. And given the fact that 90% of the world's oceans are unexplored, the creature may very well be roaming below the waves, along with God knows what else. Come on, we've got to find all these exciting fish. Let's go. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For more top 10 lists, be sure to subscribe by clicking on the button that you can see now.